Good morning, and welcome to UIL and to our meditation time for those in person and those virtually. I'm Shelley Frederick, one of your prayer chaplains. So as we move into this sacred time, I invite you to get comfortable. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And become still. Relax and slow your breathing. Let the chair fully support you. You may notice your shoulders dropping, your jaw relaxing, your eyelids softening. Take another slow, deep breath and let any tension or busy thoughts go on the exhale. Any sounds you hear only take you deeper. Relax into this eternal, present moment. Relax into a deep, loving, and peaceful place. The peace and wholeness of God is like the blue sky with sunshine beyond the clouds of agitation or discord. I affirm peace for myself and all beings. I let the peace of God flow through my heart into the world like ripples on a lake. You can affirm to yourself the perfect peace of God is the truth of my life. Now rest in the peaceful, infinite space within you as we go into the silence. Gently come back to the room now. Take some deep breaths. Move your body. And remember this deep well of peace that is always available to us. As this sacred time in the silence comes to a close, we remain receptive, peaceful, and thankful. We welcome our church family, both in person and virtually, into our celebration service. We know that divine grace and love greets and enfolds everyone here today and everyone online. We bless and are grateful for everyone serving today. Have a blessed day, and so it is.
I spent my whole life searching for shelter for my soul, an understanding of the greater plan. And in these walls I've seen the light of love, pure and divine, helps me remember who I really am. In every face it's clear, we're all God's children here, and it feels like home, it feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home, feels like home, a family that I can call my own. It feels like home. It's a place to share your burden. It's safe to shed a tear. Say a prayer and raise your voice in song, where every heart is honored and every path is too. No one's here to judge you right or wrong, and there's no shame, no sin in this place where love begins. And it feels like home, it feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home, it feels like home, a family that I can call my own. It feels like home.
Now is our time of prayer. I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Settling into the chair beneath you and allowing it to support you in that right and perfect way. And breathe. Simply breathe, gradually becoming one with the breath, and letting the breath carry you to that still point deep within. With the arrival of spring only days away, I create space and energy for the new. Spring symbolizes rebirth and renewal, with a sense of newness and vitality in the air. Spring is steeped in love and joy, the essence of all that is good. It symbolizes life in all its glory. There's a moment when winter transitions to spring, where hope blooms. If you look closely, you see the hope of spring in the crocuses that pop up from the ground next to the still melting chunk of snow. If you listen, you'll hear birds coming home after wintering where it's warm. Just as nature goes through a process of renewal in spring, shedding the old and embracing the new, it can also be a time for me to let go of old habits, beliefs, and patterns that no longer serve me. It's a chance to start afresh and renew myself spiritually. The lengthening days and increased sunlight in spring represent the triumph of life over darkness. This can also be interpreted as a metaphor for overcoming challenges and negativity in my life. However, there is always preparation before rebirth and new growth. No garden flourishes without attention to the weeds. Just as the flower beds in front of my house need to be cleaned of old leaves and weeds
before new seeds can be planted. Likewise, there is work to be done in the flower bed of my spiritual life. Letting go of what no longer serves me is much like clearing away the old growth and weeds in my garden. By creating clear boundaries in my life, I make space for new growth and ensure that my garden remains healthy and vibrant. This spiritual refreshing may be hard work, but it is rewarding. It is required so that I can open up, grow deep, and blossom into a fuller awareness of myself as a divine being. My seeds must be planted in spiritual truth, always seeking a deeper understanding of myself as a spiritual being, stretching toward the light and warmth of divine understanding. I am grateful for the spiritual growth and renewal available to me. In this moment, I rise above limiting beliefs, habits, and actions. I plant my seeds, new seeds, in the manifestation of my desires and dreams. I accept the transformation and new life that is mine. We give thanks for these truths as we spring forward with hope, optimism, vitality, and joy, knowing all is well, life is good, and we are truly blessed. And so it is, and we let it be. Amen.
Feels like home. It feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home. Feels like home. A family that I can call my own. It feels like home. Feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home. Feels like home. A family that I can call my own. It feels like home. Good morning and welcome, Unity in Lynnwood. Welcome. Thank you. If you are able, please stand and greet your neighbor. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and I quiet my mind, I hear Spirit say, There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There's only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. If you'd like to join us for our sing-along, we'll be doing I Will Be, and I will help cue some lyrics, but they will be up on the screen as well. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. Here to serve. Whatever spirit needs of me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Here I am. Here I am, a vessel to be whatever spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. One more time, a little quieter. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Beautiful.
Good morning. My name is Stella Black, and I am absolutely delighted to be your welcome host this morning. We know that you have many choices for where and how you spend your Sunday morning at 11 a.m., and we are so blessed that you chose to be here with us. Every week, Calais Gray creates the beautiful floral arrangements that we have here that grace our platform, and she does this as a part of her sacred service for Unity in Lynnwood. We now have a lovely new table here on the platform for our flowers. This table was made possible by a special donation from individual members of our community. And now I'd like you to join me in expressing our immense gratitude to these people. Something that it's important for me to let you all know, and that is that all donations for flowers go toward the church's well-being. And I also want to call attention to the garden that we have here on our new table this morning. And this was actually created and presented by Reverend Denise. She brought it all the way over on the ferry boat, so, right? No small feat. If you would like a garden like this, we can make it happen for you. Every Sunday from now through the end of Lent until Easter, if you would like to go to the Soul Things Book and Gift Shop and donate $100, like if you did it today, next Sunday there will be a beautiful garden waiting for you. So anyway, please do avail yourself of this wonderful opportunity. And now, whether you are joining us in our virtual sanctuary from near and far, or here in our physical sanctuary, together, we are weaving a rich and beautiful tapestry that is unity in Lynnwood. This is a tapestry of acceptance, diversity, and inclusivity. At Unity in Lynnwood, we believe that each person, and that is you, is an individualized expression of divinity itself. And as such, we accept you without question, condition, or exception. We welcome all family structures, we celebrate all spiritual paths, and we honor all life. In principle, it can be said that Unity in Lynnwood loves without boundaries. We love boldly. Welcome one and welcome all.
Days pass, years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing, our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when the lightning of your presence illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we are that the bush burns unconsumed, and we clay touched by God will reach out for holiness and exclaim with wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. How filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Days pass, years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. Fill our eyes with seeing, our minds with knowing, and let there be moments when the lightning of your presence illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we are that the bush burns unconsumed, and we clay touched by God will reach out for holiness and exclaim with wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. How filled with awe is this place. Help us to see it. Help us to see it.
So beautiful. Thank you, Kelly. Amazing. So blessed. Good morning. Buenos dias. Just got back from Mexico. I've added a few words to my vocabulary. Great to be back with you. Grateful to be here. I know that many of you come from all different places, and especially those online. We're so grateful that you said yes to be with us, and that we know if you were able, you'd be here in person, but we're grateful for your yes, because there's 1,000, if not millions, of places you could be. So thanks for being here. We see a few people online. There's William from Essequa, Lori from Lynnwood, Tom from Edmonds, and Deb from New Jersey. So if everybody will look over at this camera here, let's welcome our friends. Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining us. You are the light of the world. And we are blessed. Thank you. So our mission statement, we love to talk about why we gather together, and it's very simple. It's practical spirituality and a welcoming community. So we hope that each time we gather, we're practicing the spirituality in a simple and easy way, but also that you feel this welcoming presence the moment you arrive on this campus. Or whether you're online as well, that you feel that welcoming presence, that you matter, and that's what's important. We have 7 value statements, and today is number 2. And it goes like this: we seek to discover and share spiritual practices which are repeatable and reliable, and to infuse these spiritual practices into every area of our daily lives. And then we have a beautiful invocation that we say each week, and we're going to say this one together. Together, though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates, and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. Sorry, I was going to let them pick. Okay, I was pausing. Forgive me. Now we're ready. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. Yes, to honor all life. Well, we're starting a new series today based on the Lenten book. I hope you all picked one up in the last couple of weeks, and it's the Lenten series, In the Garden. So that's the title to this, and so therefore the garden, right? I just couldn't help myself. Yesterday, I was doing the final touches, and I went, let's make one. So each week, like next week, you could receive one, and Callie will put all that together, and then you could actually take it home and just enjoy the beauty, you know? I mean, it's not quite up yet, right? Any of you gardeners are waiting for all that color to come up. I know I am. My camellia is just about ready to explode, and there are a few daffodils up, but pretty much still looks like winter at my house. So I wanted to start this morning with a story for St. Patrick's Day. I see all of you Irish wearing your green. So it's a story of an Irishman that regularly goes to a bar called the O'Malley Pub. And he orders 3 beers each time taking a sip alternately from each beer. So the bartender is very curious, asks, "So why do you do this?" The man replies, "Well, I have 2 brothers that don't live here, they're overseas, and we've agreed to always drink in this way," sort of symbolizing that we are together. And so one week the man comes in and orders only 2 beers, and the bartender notices and comes over and says, "I'm so sorry for your loss." And the man says, "Oh, my brothers are fine. I just told my wife I would quit drinking." Oh, shoot. Too fun. And so we're going to embark on this beautiful Lenten journey and enter into sort of a sacred time. And gardening is always about transformation. And so this series is In the Garden, a journey of transformation. And so we'll be doing this for all the weeks, all the way up through Easter. And this invites us to really cultivate an inner garden in us, beginning to sort of pluck out all that stuff that isn't useful, that maybe causes pain and suffering, and preparing our way towards a greater experience. So Lenten is about letting go, and so we're not necessarily letting go of things we like chocolate or lasagna or, right? You know, God laughs when we do things like that. And so part of it is spiritual in nature, right? It's like to let go of, you know, the thoughts that we're holding or behaviors that are not supporting us. Sort of thinking about, you know, Jesus's parables, the parable of the sower. And it's this great, profound teaching about the readiness and willingness of us to plant seeds in fertile soil. So it's in Matthew chapter 13, 1 through 23. I'm not going to read the whole verse, but those that carry your Bibles around, please return to your page. Anyway, some people are still reading that at home. I'm grateful. And that's in Matthew 13. But it talks about scattering seeds on just a variety of ways that we can do that. There's sort of a path that maybe we're walking on. There's rock ground. There's thorns, you know, amongst it. And then finally, there's good soil. And so only the seeds that land on the good soil flourish and yield this abundant, rich energy. So metaphysically, this parable sort of illustrates the importance of building a strong consciousness, a strong foundation, and being open and receptive and fortified with faith. So that's what we can learn, is that we need to sort of let go of the rocky parts of ourselves and recognize that when we're planting seeds, we want to do that in places that are receptive. And haven't we all tried to tell someone how to change their life, right? Or how to be, right? And it's just going to fall on the path or the rock, right? It's just going to tumble because they're not ready to hear it. Just like we are. We can hear someone say something, or we could read a book. And if our consciousness is not in the place of receptivity, it will just fall away. And then we'll take that same book and read it next year, and lo and behold, all this new information, right? And it's not really new. It's that we've prepared to receive. We've prepared ourselves to hear it in a new way. And so this theme of inner cultivation, it crosses all spiritual traditions. In Buddhism, it teaches the practice of mindfulness to cultivate a mental soil, allowing the seeds of wisdom and compassion to take root. And many of us know there's this great story of the flower sermon by the Zen Buddhist, right? Where the Buddha was giving a sermon, but before he even spoke, he held up a flower. And in that moment, one of the monks smiled and had a recognition of the divine, had an awakening in that moment just by looking at that flower. So anyone want to just gaze over here and hope that there's some sort of recognition? I know I do. But it's this idea of responding to life and to be with life, and allow it to open us, allow it to us to be opened through the magnificence and awe, as the song talked about. And in Islam, that emphasizes the purification of the heart through tazkita, and that's their practice to become receptive to divine guidance. And through Hinduism, it speaks of preparing one's inner field through the practices like yoga and meditation, so to achieve this spiritual awakening. And many of us also in New Thought do those same practices. And in Judaism, it encourages sort of a self-reflection and repentance to align oneself with the divine will. So the garden sort of serves as this universal metaphor for you and I, for opening the heart, for remembering who we are, creating a space that requires attention and care and nurturing. Just as a garden needs tending, just as we, as a gardener, go out into our gardens, as Stella was talking about, we clean out all the debris, we clean out all the spaces so that new growth can come in. So let me see if I could get the next slide going. Oh, thank you. So the next slide is an affirmation that maybe we could say this together. Can you all read it? Can you read it from where you are? Okay, let's say this together. As I nurture my inner garden with seeds of love, compassion, and understanding, this allows my spirit to blossom in harmony with the world. So we're shifting our consciousness by planting seeds of what we wish to see in the world. And that means we need to let go of all the things that we're not wanting. Conflict and confusion and separation. And so there's a story in the Buddhist tradition, and it talks about a woman named Kisa Gotami. Kisa Gotami was a young mother who faced this profound tragedy when she lost her only child. And she was overwhelmed with grief. And so Kisa Gotami could not accept her child's death and began to seek desperately a way to bring him back. So she went to see the Buddha. And hearing of the Buddha's wisdom and compassion, she pleaded for a remedy to bring back her son. And so the Buddha listened patiently and then offered a task for her. He said, go into the city and find a mustard seed from a household that has not been touched by death. Bring that seed back to me, and I will use it to heal your child. So filled with hope, Kisa Gotami went from house to house requesting a mustard seed. Everyone she met was willing to give her a mustard seed, but when she inquired whether they had experienced a death in their family, each household recounted their own stories of loss of a child, a sibling, a parent. So as she listened to these stories, Kisa Gotami realized that death is universal and touches every life without exception. So her perspective shifted from a personal grief to a broader understanding of human suffering. She returned to the Buddha with a gentleness, and the Buddha explained, the life of mortals is troubled, is brief, and is inseparable from suffering. Understanding this, one ceases to be troubled by death and accepts the impermanent nature of life. So the story illustrates the importance of really cultivating this inner garden of the heart through understanding and acceptance of life on life's terms. We can sort of recognize the universal nature of suffering and impermanence every day. Someone just said this morning, we never know what we're going to wake up to. And I know many of you have recently lost loved ones. It doesn't mean that just because we have this faith that we don't have sadness or grief. It just means we may not stay there permanently. Yeah. That we have tools and we have a spiritual community that supports us and sees us and prays with us so that we can grow through these life experiences. And so this theme of tending to one's inner garden echoes through all of these traditions. Christianity, we spoke of the parable of the sower, where we sow fertile soil and it yields an abundant harvest. And so this symbolizes this receptive heart, this opening up to divine teachings. In each tradition, the cultivation of this inner garden involves practicing that which nurtures our soul. It nurtures us in a way that brings us more harmony, more understanding. And so tending to our own hearts, is vital to the continuing in the world in a loving, compassionate way. I know for me, several years ago, I found myself in the demands of daily life and work pressures and personal responsibilities and constant barrage of information just left me feeling this sense of disconnection and mental clutter. And it kept me in a state of anxiety continuously. And especially if I stayed in the world, right? If I continued to watch the news, if I continued to believe in the stories of the pain and suffering. And so in ministry and as a prayer chaplain, we train and we teach us to hold people with compassion and understanding, but not to be drawn into the story as the truth. But this is just a human condition that's happening. It's just the clouds passing through the sky, yes? Yes. And so I began to recognize that I needed to clean out all those places in me that continued to look at the world in a suffering way and look at my own world that was cluttered with too many papers on my desk, too many to-do lists, too many projects that I couldn't complete, too many yeses and not enough no's. Anybody relate? Right. So I began to let go. I began to know that my yes was just as lovely as my no in serving. And I teach that as well. When I ask you to do something for the church, I want you to hear this right now. Your no is just as lovely as your yes. Because if your yes is really a no and you serve, you're not going to serve with love. You'll be serving me, and that's not what I'm wanting or you're wanting. We want to serve with love to say, let our yes mean yes and our no mean no, so that we can do those things with great love, with great joy, with great energy. And so we have to recognize those balances. And I began to look for practices, spiritual practices, that would help me also do self-inquiry. What is happening in here that you are so tortured, right? That you're upset or anxious or fearful? And I began to do practices like quantum living, nonviolent communication, self-inquiry. And I found refuge in these practices of looking within and being real and honest about where the suffering was coming from. It wasn't out there, it was in here. I could see what was going on out there, but then I began to identify as reality. And that identification is what kept me in suffering. So self-inquiry has been a big part of releasing and letting go and saying, well, is this true? You know, I'm not good enough, or I'm a misfit, or I don't have enough. All those shadowy beliefs that can cloud our thinking and influence our state of mind. And so I'm inspired by this gardening metaphor. I'm also a gardener. Anyone else? Yeah, so many of us. And there's something that also happens when I get into the garden. I lose myself. And that's the one I wanted to lose in the first place, right? The one who's anxious or fearful or thinking she's not enough or hasn't done enough. Good heavens, right? Let's let that go. We've done plenty. And so gardening for me, golf is another one, but gardening especially, creating beauty, it just stops me in my tracks. And I could actually just weep sometimes, just standing in front of a garden, you know, like, my goodness, how could this be, you know? And that's what God's intention is for us to stop and look at all the beauty that is everywhere present. There is so much. We have to remember of reminding ourselves of what we're focusing our attention on. And yes, we need to stay informed. We need to stay inspired. But we don't want, as Jesus said, not be in the world, but not of the world. Be in the world with that cultivated garden in you that is loving and compassionate, wise, calm, and serene. And then we can handle life in a whole different way. And so over time, I learned greater insight and wisdom through these practices, and I noticed a transformation in myself. And so I began to be quite excited that there was more freedom, more joy, more spaciousness, less and less of I shoulds, and more of I want to, or I get to serve, or I get to create. I get to speak. I get to go to this meeting. Sometimes. It's all good. It's all God. But it is about shifting the consciousness in which I'm experiencing life. How am I being with what I'm having? It's always a good question. And if I'm overwhelmed, if I'm blaming others because I said yes, don't we? Yeah. We start to blame the world or others because we have took on too much. We start to project this anger and upset. So here's something, just say, so here I am. What have I said yes to? This is before me. It must be mine. What have I said yes to? Now, I'm not asking you to go out and say no all the time, but to be mindful of how much we can really do and still be the light of the world. Because that's really what we're here to be, is the light of a world, and to cultivate this inner garden with compassion. So we're on a journey this next several weeks of gardening, and those that don't know much about it, you can buy one next week and take it home and have that beautiful small garden for your enjoyment. But as spring comes and as we begin to put our gardens out there, we can utilize this time to bring more God into our world and to see God in all that's happening. And so we want to cultivate this inner garden, and there's one last slide. Beautiful. Next one. There. So here's our last affirmation to say together. You ready? I cultivate my inner garden with compassion and love. As my inner state transforms, so does my world. So we begin to see with different clarity, with different sense, that there is peace, there is more love, there is compassion, there is tranquility when we begin to cultivate that garden within us. So let's journey together and sort of accept this invitation of cultivating that garden. Let's move into a prayerful time. So join me as we close the outer eye. We just allow this time to open us to all of God's amazing grace. And so we do ask, God, that you fill our eyes with seeing. You fill our minds with knowing. And let there be moments when the lightning of your presence illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we are that the bush burns unconsumed, that we are touched by God. So take that holy breath. And see yourself now sitting in this beautiful garden that you have created with beauty and wonder. And how filled with awe is this place. And we did not know it. It's right here. The kingdom of God is within. The kingdom of God is here and now. And we allow that to be made known here on earth. Thank you, God.
Help us to see wherever we are that the bush burns unconsumed. We clay, touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place. Help us to see it.
So we let it be. Thank you.
Now is our time for giving. Third Sundays are Givers Circle Sundays. And an idea that came out of our tithing committee meeting in February is a new way to plant seeds of abundance. So what we have done is we have a basket, an abundance basket, that is filled with abundance affirmations. And I'm going to ask a member of our community to pick one of the abundance affirmations out of the basket and read it to us. So Barbara Thor has our basket, and let's see. Art, would you like to do us the honors this week? Absolutely. Okay, thank you so much. And Barbara has a microphone so we can hear Art loud and clear.
This one is called Divine Ideas. God is my unfailing source. I stand steady and sure in the face of uncertainty, confident that divine ideas will assure my prosperity. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. So I have the card up here, as you see, and following the service, I'll keep it up here. And if you'd like to grab one of the note cards in the chair back pocket in front of you, then you can write it down and bring it into your time of prayer and meditation in the weeks to come. So thank you. Or you can come and take a picture. Yes. 21st century. Thank you. I love it. I love it. Creativity. Electronic giving options will appear on the screen. For those of you choosing to give a physical gift this morning, the ushers will gratefully pass baskets. If you're on site and would like to give by credit card, we'll have an electronic giving station at the back of the sanctuary following the service. If you'd like more information about Unity in Lynnwood's programs of regular giving, planned giving, or legacy giving, please do grab a Giver's Circle brochure. Or you can write the Board of Trustees directly. For those of you who are already participating, we thank you very, very much. And now, please join me in our offering affirmation as it appears on the screen. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Okay. Is anyone joining us for the first time today? Anyone new or newer? And if you are, and you are comfortable with raising your hand, we invite you to do so. Wonderful, yay. This is fantastic. We have a special gift for you, and that is an undated copy of the Daily Word. The Daily Word is a pint-sized devotional filled with affirmations and encouraging messages, and it has been in publication by Unity since July 1st, 1924, so that's over 100 years. Please see Marion, I think, is Marion here today? Okay, good. In So Things Book and Gift Shop following the service to receive your copy. So Things is located just inside the front door across from the Friendship Room. And following the service, I'll be back at the Welcome and Information Station at the back of the sanctuary to answer any questions that you might have. And please come back, whether you're new, newer, or older, like me, and avail yourself of all of the information that we have back there. It's truly a wonderful resource. Many publications by Unity worldwide. This is one that caught my attention today, and it's Find a Supportive Unity Community Near You, and then it also is talks about silent unity. So anyway, this information is for all of you. There's also resource material located in the chair back pocket in front of you. One is the note card I referred to earlier. So anyway, we hope to see you back there. And now on to invitations. Third Sundays are Givers Circle Sundays, as I said. Consistent financial support provides helpful data to our Board of Trustees. Please click the repeat box on any giving platform or grab a Givers Circle brochure as you leave. For all gifts given, we are ever grateful. Please consider the offerings of Unity in Lynnwood's small group and interfaith ministries as they appear on your screen. Today at 12:30, please join us for an important town hall meeting where we will continue our discussion on the minister's search and explore the direction we want to take as a community. Your point of view matters, and we want to hear from you. On Saturday, April 5th at 6 p.m., there will be a dinner with others. As we reignite our interfaith program, Unity in Lynnwood is honored to collaborate with Northwest Interfaith, Interfaith Community Sanctuary, and Call of Compassion Northwest for an inspiring evening, dinner with others. We are all members of the human family, yet we often walk through life as us versus them, divided, distant, and polarized. This dinner is an opportunity to bridge those gaps, to transform others into friends, and to foster understanding through shared conversation and connection. Come with an open heart, leave with a deeper connection. Under our new communications plan, a board member easily identifiable by their distinctive hat will be available after Sunday services to address questions about Unity in Lynnwood policies, finances, or the minister transition. Meanwhile, the platform host will be on hand to assist with general Unity-related inquiries. You can find the board member in the sanctuary for a short time before they make their way to the Friendship Hall. I'd like to invite this week's board member to stand and introduce themselves by name. Well, I think I see. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jerry.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Our little leprechaun. I love it. And now I would like to invite both Barbara Thorpe and Reverend Denese to the platform for some additional invitations. Thank you so very much.
Good morning. I'm Barbara Thorpe, licensed Unity teacher, and I'm here to invite you to join a class that can change your life, heal, and empower you. Come and learn and practice affirmative prayer to open you to new possibilities for yourself. Prayer and meditation have the power, with practice, to transform our lives and the world. Say yes to this class. Maybe you just need a prayer tune-up with the support of others, or you desire practical ways to take action, be empowered during this time of great change. The class starts this Tuesday evening via Zoom, lasts for 5 weeks. The last class will be in person here at Unity in Lynnwood. Dana Consuela and I will be using Reverend Linda Martello Whitsitt and Deanne Weir Morrissey's book, Discover Your Divinity. I've read many books on prayer, and this is a powerful one. We have them in our Soul Things book and gift shop. Register online at the UIL website or at our information station. You must pre-register to receive the Zoom link. If you have a heart's desire to become a prayer chaplain, this class is required, and it also may be taken for credit if you desire further education through Unity Worldwide. As we change our thoughts and words, we change the world. I'll be back at the information station after the service if you have any questions. Blessings to you.
Thank you, Barbara. Beautiful. I highly encourage you to join into a prayer class. And if it's been tugging on your heart to become a prayer chaplain, don't hesitate. It could be the perfect time. I was blessed to be the minister for a large ministry, and we had 33 chaplains. And I'll tell you, it was powerful to have chaplains together. And what I know about prayer chaplaincy is it becomes a ministry in itself, and people are so blessed that they continue to serve. So it might be a new time for you. I just want to say I have a couple things coming up as well. Next week, I'm going to do an introduction to nonviolent communication, and it's a practice that I've done for many, many years, but it's sort of in response to the season of nonviolence, learning how to be in this world in a way where we can hear, listen with compassion, and express with empathy. It's just a beginning course, but if there's enough interest, then we'll go deeper with it, but it's for 2 hours next week, just on a love offering. It's based on Marshall Rosenberg's work, Nonviolent Communication. And then next month, Quantum Living is coming up. It's a 6-week transformational journey. It's a profound self-inquiry practice. It invites us to look deeply within ourselves, so to question our conditioned patterns and to awaken to a greater sense of a presence and possibility. The practice is not for everyone. It requires a willingness to really engage with what arises with honesty and compassion. So we're going to look at some shadowy stuff. And so it requires us to have a deep sense of knowing ourselves. And if some that have experienced a lot of trauma in their life, it may be a little bit too tender to do that work. So be mindful of if you're ready for this. We encourage each person to discern whether this is the right time for you to step into a greater spiritual awareness and awakening. And if you feel called, welcome you wholeheartedly, and that starts April 3rd. You can sign up on our website, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart, and I practice it quite often, so join us. Well, that's the rest of our church. That's it. Finally, we're done. So a statement of faith is here that we talk about every Sunday, and it is, there's only one presence and one power in the universe, in my life the infinite, living, loving presence of God. And so this infinite, living, loving presence of God is the ultimate reality and source of all that is. And it expresses our belief in this non-dual way, and that God is omnipresent everywhere, everywhere present in every situation. And so just wanted to remind you that each Sunday we also have prayer chaplains that are here to serve you through prayer, whether you are facing a challenge or whether you're here to celebrate life and give thanks. They're here. If our chaplains could stand, please. They have a purple stole. There we are. Great. Thank you. And they'll be, I think, up front so you could find them easily, and then they'll find a quiet place for you to share. So don't leave without your prayer today. There's something so magical. I've always had this vision of having, 20 prayer chaplains and everybody standing in line waiting, right? So let's create that. All right, take a breath. So let's ground into this present moment awareness, give thanks for all that we've experienced together, and do our closing song.
May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on.
Thank you for joining us today. We will have our hospitality, and I believe they're going to bring it right back here because we have the town hall right after service today. God bless you. Thank you for joining us.